press the bell icon on the YouTube app and never miss another update.
Hi students, in the previous videos we have discussed about the semiconductor electronics, classification of materials into conductors, semiconductors and insulators on the band theory of solids. If the energy gap is almost zero or overlapped, we have called it as a conductor, and if the narrow energy gap of 1 electron volt, we called it as a, or it is considered as a semiconductor. If the energy gap is more than 5 or 6 electron volt, then it is a insulator. Further, intrinsic semiconductor and extrinsic semiconductor classified. After doping of two types, even in extrinsic semiconductor we have learnt about the N-type and P-type semiconductors, about the energy gap, the relation, and the semiconductor device, PN junction, diode, forward bias, reverse bias characteristics, and its applications as rectifier, half wave rectifier, full wave rectifier, photodiode, LED, and even Zener diode. In between I told and given some relations to you, and most important for board exam, entrance exam concerned, and the portion now is set for this year is about this, starting from solid state, what in the case of band theory of solids to the Zener diode, applications of the diode. Let us see for regarding this, some questions of entrance type. See the first question, if you see that, energy of a photon of sodium light of wavelength, question number 1, wavelength given is 589 nanometer, equal to a band gap of a semiconducting material. Find a minimum energy E required to create a whole electron pair. Question is find value of E is 1 part, and second question is find the value of E by kT at a temperature of 300 Kelvin. You have to find out E by kT, how much. Further given temperature is 300 Kelvin and kT, K value in terms of electron volts given 8.62 into 10 power minus 5 electron volt per Kelvin. So you have to calculate the energy gap and E by kT value. You have learned in semiconductor theory, band theory of solids, there is one which is containing free electrons is called conduction band, containing valence electrons are the holes carriers as a valence band. The energy we are representing in electron volt, and suppose energy required, that means energy of a photon is given. What is the band gap of semiconducting material? Suppose this wavelength is exciting and creating an electron hole pair, means what may be the energy gap required? Basically you can think about the solution is energy gap is nothing but energy of the incident photon hc by lambda. But for EG2 in directly for entrance purpose we are taking 12,400 in terms of EV by lambda when lambda is in angstrom. If you substitute, you can get the value of EG directly. What this EG value comes is 12,400. If you see that is 589 nano, that I putting a 0 making angstrom. 5890 angstrom it become. 90 angstrom, and if I approximated to 6,12400 divided by 6 approximated here 6,000. 2 zeros cancel, it become 12.4 and approximately 2.1 electron volt. The one option we got the answer, 2.1 electron volt. The other part is B. We want to calculate the value of E by kT. To get E by kT, E is got 2.1 and Interesting is K value they given in EV. Therefore, no problem. Directly you can substitute as 8.62. Temperature is 300. It is into 10 power minus 5. Suppose I made it 21. 1 0 cancel 4. These two cancels 2. So I can write 21 into 10 power 2 divided by 8.62 into 3, because these 2 and here 1 3 cancelled when you take to the numerator. It is around 7 times. That I can write it as 700 by 8.62. 700 by 8, if you observe it, even if you made 9, 9 8 ja is 72. 9 8 ja is 72, which suggests E by KT according to the given answers nearest value comes to be the 81. What is the possible solution? You can search is the option 1, that they given 2.1 electron volt one and another is 81. So this is the option. I hope you are followed here. When energy is given in terms of radiation having photon of wavelength 5890 angstrom or 5899 nanometer. So the energy is enough to carry an electron, means break the covalent bond. This energy gap equivalent of, directly we can use this relation to find out, by which we got 2.1 electron volt. They given the value of K in terms of EV, therefore it is also in EV. EV gets cancelled, Kelvin also get cancelled. It is only the pure number, no unit. No unit 81 and unit with 2.1 EV. Option number 1. Coming to the question number 2. Pure silicon at 300 Kelvin. Pure silicon at 300 Kelvin has equal electrons and holes concentration. That is intrinsic concentration. If you write, it is 1.5 into 10 power 16 per meter cube. Doping by indium increases into, so it is whole carrier increases to 4.5 into 10 power 22 per meter cube. It is a whole concentration. The calculate concentration of electrons, electron density. So they given the intrinsic carrier concentration as 1.5 into 10 power 16 per meter cube, and whole concentration is 4.5 into 10 power 22 per meter cube. We have mass law. Intrinsic carrier can be written as Ne into NH. So we required Ne, electron concentration. So it is 1.5 into 1.5 into 10 power 16 square. Ni square by NH is 4.5 into 10 power 22. So this is 3 times, 3.5 times. 0.5 into 10 power 10, because it is 22 is 32. So answer available, if you search there, it is 5 into 10 power 9 per meter cube is the electron concentration. 5 into 10 power 9 per meter cube. Option number 2. Mass law we use here. Intrinsic carrier concentration is related with electron concentration into hole concentration relation we use here. So one of the important relation which relates intrinsic carrier with electron concentration and hole concentration. Coming to the next question. Find the maximum voltage across AB in the circuit shown in the figure. Assume that diode is ideal. Let us just see the figure, what it carries. So there is a circuit like this. they given this figure, and values if you observed, that is 30 volt and 5 kilo ohm, 15 kilo ohm and 10 kilo ohm. So the question is, find the potential difference across AB. The question is this: what is the potential difference across AB? So semiconductor chapter is in which all your previous chapters knowledge is necessary. In current electricity, you learn two resistors are in parallel. What is the effective resistance? And second, what is the potential difference across this? Is nothing but effective resistance into main current that can flow in this. If you find the main current in the circuit, number one, and before that you want the parallel resistance, how much across these two? Because it is an ideal diode, resistance internally 0. So then if you know the effective resistance, find out. That help you to find the current. And final, that first you have to find this, because you have to get the effective resistance, and third you find the current main. If you know the voltage, suppose if I want voltage across this, if I take this is the effective parallel resistance and the main current, that become the voltage across AB, how much? That's the final fourth step. So first we find out for this problem what is RP. You know, in case of current electricity, if the two resistors are in parallel, then you had this relation. Kilo ohm as it is, keep your 15 into 10 divided by 15 plus 10. So this is 150 by 25, suggests 6 kilo ohm. So what is the second step is R effective. R effective because these two are in series. When they are in series, R1 plus RP. 5 plus 6 is 11 kilo ohm. And coming to third step, you want main current. These two become a single resistor and 30 volt. Voltage by effective resistance gives you the current. That is 30 divided by 11. Kilo I take to the numerator as 10 power minus 3. But that is not our main aim. I can write this as 30 by 11 milliampere. But I want this RP into current. The question is on voltage across AB, which requires R parallel into current that is in the main. R parallel is 6 into, that is R parallel is 6 kilo ohm, that is 10 power 3 into 30 by 11. So it is also kilo 11 kilo ohm if I substitute here kilo, not necessary, sorry. RP we have 6, that is substituted in this. 6 into 30 by 11, answer comes in, that is 180 by 11. 180 by 11, 11 ones are. Then coming to 6, 11 6 ja. 50, 11 ones are 11 70, 66 40, 32. Value is around 16.32 volts. Option number 3. Option 3 is answer. I hope you are understood here. This is the main voltage. It is an ideal diode. Internal resistance forward is almost 0. These two resistors are in parallel. We taken it as a combination. First step, parallel combination determined. Effective resistance calculated, which help you to calculate the current. Because RE, VE by RE, that is 11 kilo ohm. Kilo go to the numerator, 30 by 11 milliampere. Here RP into I. Here again, that we left, I can write, I show here. 6 into 10 power 3 into 30 by 11 into 10 power minus 3. that give the correctly the 16.32. 180 by, this gives you 180 by 11 and answer is 6.32 volt, option number 3. Coming to the next one. In the given circuit diagram, question number 4, in the given circuit diagram, VB equal to 0.6 volt, forward biasing of the diode is 6 volt. Calculate current I in the circuit. First you have to calculate the current what is in the circuit and find the current I if the diode is reverse bias. Forward current and reverse bias current. You are given a diode with a resistor connected to this cell, 270 ohm and 6 volt, it is a 0.6 volt. So the question is on forward current. If you come to the simple Ohm's law circuit, if you applied net voltage, I have given you forward resistance is supply voltage minus potential, that is forward bias potential, divided by resistance. This is 6 minus 0.6 divided by 270. If I write this 5.4 divided by 2.7 into 10 power minus 2, it is 2 times. 2 into 10 power minus 2 or 20 milliampere. Option number 20 milliampere. In the reverse bias, second case, this, in the reverse bias, V minus VB by resistance of the reverse bias is infinity, therefore 0. Therefore, answer is 20 milliamps, 0. 20 milliamps, 0 is the option number 2. Next, coming to the question number 5. A PN junction diode, the depletion region is 400 nanometer wide. See, in case of a PN junction, you have learnt one side is P and other side is N, and the thickness of the depletion region given D equal to 400 nanometer. 400 nanometer, and electric field that exists from N side to P side is 5 into 10 power minus 5 volt per meter. Exists in it the minimum kinetic energy of a conduction electron which can diffuse from N side to P side is. So there is an electron here. This has to come towards this to diffuse, means that need kinetic energy. Kinetic energy can be written as a EV, in terms of EV if I write. That is nothing but the energy that is necessary of the potential difference. If it is the V, is the potential barrier, this electron has to cross from N region to P region against this junction electric field is nothing but it has to cross the potential barrier or energy required, EV. So it is comes in terms of joules. Suppose if you want to convert in electron volts, EV by E, 1.6 into 10 power minus 19, both E cancel, and you can write directly 400, because one relation again here I take, E is equal to V by D. The electrostatic chapter you learnt, and even in this chapter in the discussion I told you that potential barrier, width of the depletion layer and electric field are related with. So V by D is E. Therefore, you want V means E into D. E into D. So this is E into D. So 400 nanometer, 10 power minus 9. D is, E is 5 into 10 power minus 5. 5 minus 5, plus 5, sorry, plus 5. So plus 5, 10 power 5, 10 power 4. So minus 4 remained, minus 2, 20. Answer comes to be 0.20 electron volt. I think followed, this is the energy necessary, where it is the potential barrier potential or contact potential of the region. If you have to express in electron volts, you have to divide by 1.6 into 10 power minus 19. These two get cancelled. V is nothing but E into D, and got the answer. Coming to the next. See, let us see that figure. So applied the two diodes in the same order, connected to a 10 kilo ohm. Yes, one is germanium, other is silicon. 12 volt is across this, and other silicon are connected as shown in the figure to a 12 volt battery and load resistance of 10 kilo ohm. The germanium diode conducts for a potential difference of 0.3 volt. Germanium is for 0.3 volt and silicon is for 0.7 volt. When the current flows in the circuit, the potential of terminal Y will be, Y how much it should be, potential across this how much. One thing you remember, in case of forward biasing, both are in the forward bias because P regions of the two diodes are connected to the positive terminal of the battery. Even though they are under forward bias, till 0.7 is the knee voltage if I taken for the silicon. Unless the voltage crosses 0.7, the current cannot establish in this. But however, what happens here is load resistance is high and this voltage is comparatively very less compared to silicon. The current flows through this maintaining this voltage. It does not conduct at all. It is not conducting, as its knee voltage is higher than that of the germanium. Germanium conducts with 0.3 volt. Then their question is, when the current flows, what is the voltage across this? This voltage, if you see, supplied voltage minus the germanium voltage. Supply voltage is 12 minus 0.3 volt, 11.7 volt. I hope you are understood. This is not conducting. This only conducts its potential drop we see because it is carrying the current, and remaining drop should be across the load, that nothing but the potential of the point Y appears to be. Option number 2. So let us see the next question, question number 7. In this circuit shown, the potential drop across each capacitor, assuming two diodes are ideal. So you are seeing the two diodes, capacitors connected with the two diodes. So the two diodes are of this form. So 4 microfarad is C1, 8 microfarad they given C2, and 24 volt is the input voltage to the circuit. It is a reverse bias because positive terminal connected to the N, here P to P it is forward bias. Its resistance is 0, its resistance is infinity. Therefore, I can change the circuit to this form, that is two capacitors only. two capacitors with 24 volt is the supply voltage. So C1 is 24 microfarad, 4 microfarad, and C2 is 8 microfarad. We have to find V1 is how much and V2 is how much. Capacitor across what the potential drop is. So that here you have to see about the electrostatic chapter, you have to go back. Two capacitors are in series and voltage supplied to these components in series. Therefore, effective voltage, if you required, V is equal to V1 plus V2, which can be equal to 24 used to get the solution. Another in capacitor part, you have studied that Q is equal to CV, or C is inversely with voltage. So therefore, C1 by C2 can be written as V2 by V1. So this implies V2 by V1 is equal to 4 by 8, or it is implies V1 is equal to 2V2. Therefore, if I substitute in this 24 plus 24 equal to 2V2 plus V2 is 3V2, or V2 is equal to 24 by 3 is 8 volt. Therefore, V1 is equal to 2V2, which is 2 into 8 equal to 16 volt. The two, 8 volt and 16 volt. Fourth option is the right one, because 16 volt is V1, 8 volt is the V2. Let us go to the next question. Question number 8. A potential barrier of 0.5 volt. Potential barrier of 0.5 volt exists across a PN junction. If the depletion region is D equal to 5 into 10 power minus 7 meter wide, what is the intensity of the electric field in that region? This is the question part 1. An electron with a speed, for second part, with a speed enters 5 into 10 power 5 meter per second. It enters PN junction from the N side. With what speed it will enter the P side? So we have to find out V2. In this question, there are two parts. Let us think about the PN junction. It is the P region and N region. Electric field is acting in this direction. An electron is having velocity V1 in this side. This potential barrier have VB. To come across this, it will lose some energy because electron cannot move in the direction of the electric field. The energy that it is having here, kinetic energy by virtue of speed, something is lost. That loss of energy is EVB. And when comes to this reason, it may have V2. V2 is found to be less than V1. So their question is, we have to find what the V2 value is. That is the question. So V1, electron should cross the junction and come over to the other side. For this, the point is, first part if you taken, depletion layer thickness is given, potential barrier given, electric field of the region can be estimated, E equal to V by D. Directly, you are given V is 0.5 divided by D is 5 into 10 power minus 7, this become 10 power 6 volt per meter. One answer for A, 1 into, or it may write it as 1 into 10 power 6 volt per meter available. 1 into 10 power 6 volt per meter. Now this second part, how is B? Let us think this energy is higher. If we want What is the energy? Half mv2 square plus ev, energy that is lost in this combination of these according to law of conservation of energy holds good. Because what the energy electron have in n region, it will use something to cross the barrier, and what remains is appearing as a kinetic energy in the second region. Therefore, kinetic energy in the p region plus barrier potential energy equal to energy in the n region. Let us substitute the values, we will come to know. Our aim is to find V2 square. Half into mass of it 10 power minus 31 into V2 square plus E 1.6 into 10 power minus 19 into V is a 0.5 equal to half into 9 into 10 power minus 31 into 5 into 10 power 5 whole square. I can take this 2 to the multiplied here become 1 and this 2 cancels. When you cancel these 2, you have to multiply it by 2. What happens here is 9 into 10 power minus 31 V2 square is equal to, it is 2 multiplied 1. If I take as it is 25 9s is 2.25 into 10 power minus 19, because 10 21 225 19, this 1 into this is minus 1.6 into 10 power minus 19. So V2 square then equal to 2.25, if you take 2.25, 1.6 you subtract 560. That means I can write that as minus 19.65 divided by 9 into 10 power. Minus 19, if you deducted it become 10 power 12. Or I can take it 65 into 10 power 10 divided by 9. If you want a V2 is equal to square root of this approximately 8 if I made 8 by 3 into 10 power 5, which is 2.7 into 10 power 5. So the answer available to you, that is one answer we got is 1 into 10 power 6 volt per meter, and another is 2.7 into 10 power 5 is the meter per second. The option best available, that is 1.6 into 10 power 6 and 2.7 into 10 power 5, option number 1. I hope you are followed here. This is simple directly, E equal to V by D. But this question, kinetic energy, the electron has finite value here, but out of this something will be lost to overcome the barrier, remaining appearing as a kinetic energy which accounts for the speed. Therefore, what we did is kinetic energy in the P region plus EV, energy equivalent of the barrier, equal to the energy originally the electron have. Simplifying, we got the answer. Coming to the next question. Question number 9. The circuit shown in the figure contains 2 diodes with a forward resistance of 50 ohm and with finite reverse resistances. If the battery voltage is 6 volt, find the current through the 100 ohm resistor. If you look into the figure, the diodes 1 containing a resistor, and again another diode connected in opposition to this contain a resistor and with a resistor. So it is a 6 volt, 150 ohm, 50 ohm and 100 ohm. Further they told in the question 50 ohm is the forward resistance of the diode. Question is on what is the current through this resistor, 100 ohm resistor, what the current carries. This is in reverse bias. If you look, this is a plus. That we not. This is in reverse bias because plus connected to the negative terminal. This is forward bias, P to P. Therefore, this part is neglected. Now, if you want current, this resistance, second resistance and third resistance all are in series. This is not carrying the current at all, 6 volt given. Therefore, the current through 100 ohm resistor is voltage divided by forward resistance of the diode, and 2 resistors are in series. This gives you the answer. So, if you look into that, the voltage given is 6 divided by 50 plus 100 plus 50, 150. This becomes 6 by 300. That 3 5s are 6 3s are 6 5s are 50, 1 by 50. Answer is 3 2s are 2 by 100 or 0.02 ampere. 0.02 ampere, option number 2. When you look into the circuit, one diode is reverse bias, it is not conducting any current. This is forward bias, this is only the resistor that can carry the current. Therefore, this 150 ohm and 100 ohm all are in series. Therefore, the circuit becomes simple, Ohm's law, voltage by total resistance, and hence the answer is. Coming to the question number 10. The applied input AC power to a half wave rectifier is 100 watt. AC power, that is input power of AC, is 100 watts. DC output power obtained is 40 watt. DC is a output power. This is 40 watt given of the rectifier circuit. Find the rectifier efficiency. You know, in case of rectifier efficiencies, power output by power input. If it is in percentage, multiplying by 100. This 40 divided by 100 into 100 gives you the 40%. So, direct question, efficiency of half wave or full wave rectifier is nothing but the output power of DC to input power of AC. That 40 by 100 in percentage given, 40% is the answer, option number 1. Coming to the next question. Question number 11. A PN junction diode is used in half wave rectifier with load resistance of 1000 ohm. Load resistance in the half wave rectifier is 1000 ohm given. If the forward resistance diode is 10 ohm, resistance forward is 10 ohm. Calculate efficiency of the half wave rectifier. Efficiency of the half wave rectifier, we given you one equation, 0.406 into RL divided by RL plus RF. So, if I multiplied here 0.406 into 1000 divided by RL plus RF, 1000 plus 10 is a relation. So, if it is 1000 by 1010 is little bit higher, means it can decrease little bit. Search the possible answer, 0.016 or 19. This is the answer, 0.4019, option 3. Because 1000 is less than 1010, this will little bit decrease. Option number 3. A full wave rectifier uses two diodes with a load resistance of 100 ohm. Each diode has negligible forward resistance. Find the efficiency of the full wave rectifier. So directly the question in full wave rectifier efficiency, the given full wave rectifier load resistance is 100 ohm. Each diode has negligible forward resistance, means you are knowing that 0.812 into load resistance divided by load resistance plus forward resistance is the formula. If you want in percentage, I have to multiply it by 100. This become 81.2 into load resistance is 100 divided by 100 plus 0, because forward resistance is 0. Hence the answer is 81.2%. The option number 4. Come to the next. The current through the PN junction diode is 50 milliampere. 55 milliampere. We have forward bias voltage of 3 volt. Forward bias voltage is 3 volt. If the temperature is 27 degrees Celsius, find the static resistance of this diode. Static resistance forward is voltage by current, forward by this. 3 divided by 55 into 10 power 3 milliampere taken to the numerator. This become 3000 by 55. 11 5 times, or 5 11 times better. 5 6 times 600. If you simplify 600 by 11, 54.5. 54.5 ohm. Option number 3. This is the static resistance is voltage by forward voltage supplied to the current that developed in the diode circuit. Consider this circuit and data given in the diagram. Calculate the currents flowing in the diodes D1 and D2. Forward resistance of D1 and D2 are 20 ohms. So question number is 14, and 1 volt is connected with a series resistance of 100 ohm. 2 diodes are in series. They are in parallel. With the same sense they are connected. Each one have resistance 20 ohm and 20 ohm. What is the current in the diodes, each diodes? That is what is I1 and I2 questioned with. If you calculate mean current, branch current may be obtained because they are equal resistance. To get the main current, so here that is 20 ohm each. What is the effective resistance of those two? R1, R2, because 2 diodes are in parallel, effective resistance is 20 into 20 divided by 20 plus 20. 400 by 20 plus 20 is 40 is equal to 10. 10 plus 100. Therefore, main current, this first part, calculate the main current from this, because this is the effective resistance, total resistance is the adding the two voltage supplied. V divided by resistance of the effective plus the series resistance. 1 by 100 plus 10 become 1 by 110 ampere. 110 ampere is the total current, but as in this case I1 is equal to I2, therefore I this equal to I, and that I is equal to I dash I by 2, because equally dividing for both. Otherwise, if you not followed, I1 plus I2 is nothing but I. branch current rule will apply here from Kirchhoff's law. This is I1 and this is I2. Total current, main current is equal to sum of the two currents. Both are equal, therefore I by 2. 1 by 110 into 2 gives you 1 by 220 ampere. 1 by 220 ampere, option number 4. So here two resistors, first you make it a parallel combination as single resistor, and these two are in series, effective resistance. Voltage by effective resistance gives you the current, that is the main current, equally distributes, therefore current in any one diode is 50% of the main current. Therefore it is 1 by 220 ampere. In a PN junction diode, a square input signal of 10 volt is applied as shown. So let us see the figure here, that they are given an input about this is 5 volt. There is a diode and load across which the output is drawing. This is above 5 volt, here minus 5 volt, and this is 0. Across the load resistor, you have to take the output. It was the question appeared in 2007 JEE. Across the load only comes when it is under forward bias. Forward bias means with respect to, assuming this is grounded is 0. Plus 5 means it is plus. First half cycle is gained. That means at the output you can get this signal 0 to 5 volt, not the lower part. Suppose when it is minus 5, this become when minus 5, this is PN. When it is minus 5, it is reverse bias, no current, no output. Half output is not coming out. This 50% of the input is only coming at the output when the diode is forward biased. Remaining 50% where it is reverse bias is not carrying. Therefore, the best signal that you can get at the output of the circuit is the fourth one. Option number 4. I think you are followed. Given input is 5 volt plus or 5 volt minus. This is the input signal coming to the diode. 0 to 5 when it is in the half signal, forward bias and got the output. 0 to minus 5 is reverse bias case for the diode connected and no output, because it is an ideal diode, resistance is infinity and does not conduct and give the signal. So coming to the question number 16. So let us take the circuit given. So there is a Zener diode and a load resistor across this. Load resistor is 10 kilo ohm. Zener voltage is 50 volt and it is 5 kilo ohm. And input voltage is 120. Okay, now the question is on, for the circuit shown in the figure, the voltage drop across the series resistance. Voltage drop across the series resistance, this. And second is the current through the Zener diode. What is the current in the Zener diode? IZ. Main current is I, load current is IL. How to get the answer in this? The knowledge of, again I am saying, Ohm's law, circuits, supply voltage is 120 and you are knowing the voltage across this also 50 volt, because these two are in parallel combination. When it is 50, what is the voltage drop across this is obtained. So the first case, voltage across the series resistor is equal to input voltage minus Zener voltage. What is the input voltage is 120 minus 50, which is equal to 70 voltage. 70 volt is the first one we got. 70 volt. You know the resistance which gives you the current, second part. If you want the current, Zener current you want means IZ is equal to main current minus load current. How to get the main current is you are knowing the voltage by resistance. What is the voltage is 70. 70 by resistance is 5. 10 power minus 3 I take to the numerator. Whereas this, if you take load resistance in 10 kilo ohm, 50 volt, 50 into 10 power minus 3 divided by 10 kilo ohm I taken to the numerator. So milli you keep, it is 14, it is 5. 14 minus 5 into 10 power minus 3 or 9 milliampere. Therefore, the possible answer is 70 volt and 9 milliampere. 70 volt, 9 milliampere, option number 1. I think you are understood what we did. Total voltage supplied is these two common voltage 50. Therefore, this must carry the remaining voltage. That is the role of the limiting resistor in this circuit, which given Vs is equal to 70 volt. But in required Zener current is I minus IL. I is nothing but main current is voltage by resistance. IL is voltage by resistance. This voltage is 50, resistance are known. You got the answer. Option number 1. Coming to the next. So even in this case, circuit is similar. 17 Zener circuit. There is a limiting resistor connected to, and this with a resistor parallel to it as a load resistor. 5.6 is the Zener voltage. Supply voltage is 9 volt, main voltage. Resistance limiting is 200 ohm. Across load resistor is 800 ohm as a load resistor, and it is a limiting resistor. Let us see the questions what they are. A Zener diode has a breakdown voltage of 9.1 volt. Oh, the question is different. So it may be question for the other. The circuit I keep. This question, let us see, circuit is for the other one. Zener diode has a breakdown voltage of 9.1 volt. Zener diode voltage is 9.1 volt. With the maximum power dissipation across the Zener diode is 360 milliwatt. What is the maximum current diode can handle? I told you in case of power dissipation across a diode is current into voltage, maximum current into voltage. But here the given resistance you require, maximum current diode can handle. So the diode maximum can handle current, I maximum can be equal to, that is 366 power into 10 power minus 3 divided by 9.1. Current into voltage is the power dissipated, which says 9 4 ja. If I made 91, it is 10 power minus 2, or it is 40 if I take it as milliampere. So the option you have second one. Second option 40 milliamps. I think followed, it is a power dissipation across a diode, or in general in current electricity you have a relation, power is voltage into current. Maximum current into voltage, Zener voltage is the power dissipated. That is equal to 40 milliamps. So that is the answer to 17th question. Keeping 17th question's figure, take for the 18th question. One correction you make here, simple. So that the figure is shifted from one question to the other only. Problem we can take now. Zener breakdown voltage of a voltage Zener diode is 5.6 volt. We have here. In the given circuit, IZ through the Zener is. What is IZ? Question. If it is 5.6, you remember voltage across that also 5.6 volt. If it is 5.6, what is the voltage of this? Is 9 minus 5.6 is 3.4 volt, right? Now I already taken in the previous problem this case, Zener current equal to main current minus the load current. What is the main current is voltage across this is 3.4 divided by 200 minus this is 5.6 by 800. So make it 34 by 2 and minus 56 by 8 into milliampere I am right, because this 2 and 1 shifting 10 power minus 3 written directly as milliampere. It becoming 17 minus 7 equal to 10 milliampere. So we have this figure which clearly suggested Vz equal to the load across voltage as 5.6, resistance is given, and here the resistance you have. What is the voltage across this estimate? Voltage by resistance gives you the current main, and voltage by resistance gives you the load current. Once you know the load current, Zener current is main current minus load current gives you the answer. Zener current is 10 milliamps, option number 1. Coming to the next question number 19. Mobility of electrons in a semiconductor is defined as the ratio of their drift velocities to the applied electric field. If for n-type semiconductor density of electrons is 10 power 19 per meter cube and their mobility is 1.6 meter square per volt per second, then the resistivity of the semiconductor, since it is an n-type semiconductor, contribution of holes is ignored, is close to. This is the question appeared in January 2019 paper. Resistivity question is asking. You have to find resistivity means you have to go again. Current electricity chapter and this chapter are very much closely related to each. So that it is equal to 1 by sigma. Think of this. And also you derived equation sigma equal to J into E. This is equal to NEVD, drift velocity. So J is current density. Sorry, J equal to sigma E. J equal to sigma E. And you got the relation because current per unit area is current density, that equal to sigma you derived, NEVD. E is also equal to, E is equal to VD, potential difference, VD by mu, because mobility is drift velocity by electric field. VD by mu equal to NEVD, which given you sigma is equal to NE into mu E. If you wrote correct directly, no problem, this relation if you are knowing, no problem, can directly substitute. If you forgotten, current density equal to sigma E have one relation, or NEVD we got I is equal to NAEVD relation you derived. I by A is this current density. E is equal to electric field is VD by mu, that given sigma equal to NE mu E. Therefore, resistivity is equal to 1 by NE mu E, 1 upon 10 power 19, 1.6 10 power minus 19 into 1.6 again. This become 1 by 2.56 because 16 ja. Or it can be written 100 by 256. 100 by 256 is approximately, if I 25 4, it is coming to be around 0.4. Option is 0.4 ohm meter is the resistivity of the material. So if you are knowing this, no question directly can take here. Resistivity is reciprocal of the conductivity and can get the answer. Coming to the next one. So the question number 20. The reading of the ammeter for a silicon diode in the given circuit is, ammeter means currents in the circuit. So when you look into the circuit contain a diode under forward bias and a resistor and ammeter of negligible resistance it has. 3 volt is supplied, 200 ohm resistance you have a series resistance, but it is a silicon diode. What is the silicon diode knee voltage is about forward biasing voltage is 0.7 volt. Below that it is not conducting. Therefore, the current that ammeter can read is supply minus the forward resistance of the silicon divided by the resistance. 3 minus 0.7 divided by 200. 3 minus 0.7 is 1.3 by 200 or 13 by 2 milliampere. 13 by 2 is 11.5 milliampere. 13 by 2.3, sorry. 11.5 milliampere, option number 3. So I think you are followed. Why we taken is, even though they now mentioned for germanium forward voltage is 0.3 knee voltage, for this it is 0.7. 3 volt minus 0.7 divided by resistance in the circuit gives you the current that may be read by the ammeter. Answer is third one. This question appeared in JEE 2017. What is the conductivity of a semiconductor sample having electron concentration of? Electron concentration means Ne, 5 into 10 power 18 per meter cube, and hole concentration of 5 into 10 power 19 per meter cube. Electron mobility mu E is 2. Similarly, hole mobility is 0.01 units they given correctly in the SI unit. Question is, what is the conductivity? So in discussing about the p-type and n-type semiconductors, I given you conducting ability is of the entire is charge carrier value E, whether it electron or a hole, Ne into mu E plus Nh into mu H is the expression for electric conductivity in case of the semiconductor. What is the charge at carrying is 1.6 10 power minus 19. Number is 10 power 5 into 10 power 18 into 2 plus 0.01 into 10 power 19 into 5. So 1.6 into 5 2s is 10. 19 if you bring out cancels, but it is 1.05 multiplied if you are 16 5s is 80, 16 1s is 16. After 3 digits, that is around 1.68 ohm meter conductivity power minus 1. 1.68 option number 1. 1.68 ohm meter power minus 1. This relation I hope you are understood and explained in the discussion of semiconductors. conductivity is given by charge on carrier, concentration Ne mu E, only electrons this relation, only holes this relation, but in case of semiconductors both will contribute for current. Therefore sigma is equal to Ne mu E into E, Nh mu H into E. I brought E outside and solved the solution. Answer is the first one. So take the question JEE 2018, question number 22. In the given circuit, the current through the Zener diode is. So let us see, this is the 15 volt supply and there is a resistor in that and another resistor here, and this connected to a Zener diode. Yes. Zener voltage is 10. This resistance is 1500 ohm, 500 ohm. Voltage across Zener, given current across the Zener required. What is Iz? This if I called I1 and this is the main current. Iz again required means here Iz is equal to I minus IL. Again remember these two are in parallel. Voltage across the Zener is also voltage across this as V2, and if I called V1 it is 10 volt. Remember if it is 10 volt these two are in series. Across AB it is 10 volt. What is the remaining out of 15? Remaining V1 is 5 volt. This helps you to find out the main current. That is supply voltage by resistance 1, 15 by 500. 15 by 500. Is it not 500? Right. 500 resistance, voltage is 15, 3 by 100 comes to be. V by R1 is, sorry 15, no, voltage across 1, 5. 1 by 100 ampere, because we are connecting here only. This is the resistance, this is the voltage. 5 by 500 is 1 by 100. Similarly, we can come to know voltage is known, resistance is known. I2, this is what called I1. I1 equal to, voltage is a 10 volt divided by 1500. This equal to 1 by 150 ampere. Now we can substitute in this 1 by 100 minus 1 by 150. Take common LCM as 300. 300 means it is 3 minus 2. 1 by 300 or 10 by 3 milliamps, or it is a 3.33 milliampere. So I think you are understood here. This is the voltage given here, also comes to be across AB 10. Out of the total voltage, remaining voltage appears as 5. This 5 by resistance gives you the voltage across the limiting resistor here. 1 by 100 is the main current. And here, as you are knowing the voltage and resistance, you can get the current through the resistor of 1500 ohm. That is 1 by 150. Main current minus the current across this gives you the Zener current. That estimated to be 3.3 milliamps. Option number 3 is the right one. Coming to question number 23. So there is a graph. I am only concentrating on the important points mentioned. This is current in milliampere. here current in microampere, this is the voltage in volt, and having the 2 points 0.7 and 0.8, sorry 0.7 is not here, it may be 0.7, it is a 0.8, it will come here and this also corresponding to that is 20 and 10, and if we joined here it is becoming 1 microampere, and this is equal to minus 10 volt. So this is the figure. What they are asking is the ratio of forward resistance to reverse bias resistance. Resistance forward bias by resistance reverse biased. Voltage of the forward bias by forward current, change in forward current. Voltage of the reverse bias divided by change in the current. What is the changes here in the forward is, this is the forward voltage, forward current. This is the reverse current and reverse voltage. Changes in this is 0.8 minus 0.7 divided by 20 minus 10 into 10 power minus 3 milliampere. Very carefully you have to see that. And denominator voltage changing is 10 volt. 10 minus 0 is 10. 10 volt. Current is 0 minus 1 is 1 microampere. 10 power minus 6. You simplify this, you will get the answer. Because 20 minus 10 is 10. 10, 10, 100. 100, 10 power minus 1. Cancel here, it become minus 5. 10 power minus 5. 0.8, 0.7 is 0.1. Again it become 10 power minus 6. The ratio is 10 power minus 6, option number 2. Ratio of forward voltage to forward current changes gives you the forward resistance. Change in reverse voltage to reverse current gives you the reverse bias resistance. Ratio given the answer. That what we have taken this as a change in the forward current. This as a change in the forward current, and this nothing but for reverse current, and this changes is changes in the reverse voltage. So identify the semiconductor device whose characteristics are given below in the order 1, 2, 3, 4. Order you have to require. So they mention 1, 2, 3, 4 something. So out of the answers, if you look into the first figure, if you see, so the curve is almost like this. It is for semiconductor. It is for semiconductor. You have learned almost there is zero current and forward resistance goes like this. And second graph, if you look into, so it is almost, if you see, this is the Zener diode. There is a strong Zener voltage. It is a Zener diode. Graph of current versus voltage we are studying. Third graph, if you come to current versus voltage, luminous versus dark region. So in case of solar cells, we showed this. It is a dark region and brightness appears. So this is reading part for the solar cells. And fourth one, so that is about the light and resistance. Current no exist there. Resistance versus light. On the photodiode or LED photodiode or photocell, intensity of light as increases, resistance goes on decreases as intensity of light increases. more and more saturation current develops in the photodiode. Therefore, option, if you see, the first one must be the semiconductor, second one must be the Zener diode, third is a solar cell, fourth one is a light dependent resistance. Light dependent resistance. Therefore, option number 3 is the correct one. Third one is the right option. Coming to the next, JEE 2016, the temperature dependence of resistance of copper and doped semiconductor in the temperature range 300 to 400 Kelvin is described by copper. It is a metallic conductor. Silicon is a semiconductor. In case of metallic conductors, you have studied resistance versus temperature linearly varies. Resistance at 0 degree, R is equal to R naught into 1 plus alpha T. Linear changes, and linear changes with as the temperature increases. As the temperature increases, resistance increases linearly. Whereas coming to the semiconductor, if you take resistance or resistivity with temperature, so resistivity goes on decreases with temperature. R is equal to R naught into e to the power of minus Eg by kT. So thus there is an exponential decrease in the resistance of the semiconductor. Linear, it is a decrease, exponential decrease as the temperature increases. Therefore, option is linear increase in the copper and exponential decrease in the silicon. Linear increase in copper and exponential decrease in silicon is the option number 1, because temperature is increased 300 to 400 Kelvin. As temperature increase, resistance increases linearly in copper but decreases exponentially in case of silicon. JEE 2016, an experiment is performed to determine the IV characteristic of a Zener diode which has a protective resistance of 100 ohm. Maximum power dissipation rating is 1 watt. Maximum power is 1 watt. The minimum voltage range of the DC source in the circuit is. This entirely depends in power dissipation again on the resistance. Power maximum dissipation is equal to V maximum square by resistance. If you want V maximum, it is a square root of P maximum into R. What is the value of P is 1, but it is 100, gives you 10 watts, 10 volt. So because of limiting resistance, it may be in around of that. So the maximum 0 to 12 volt is the ideal for this range. JEE 16, option number 3. I hope you are followed. Power equal to V square by R relation, power dissipation across a Zener diode is taken. There 0.5 cannot be because it cannot give you the Zener breakdown. Zener breakdown is around 10 volt. Therefore, 0 to 24 volt, again it become high. Reliable to this range is 0 to 10 because of V volt maximum voltage is 10. That limits the range of the variable voltage input. So, therefore, option number is third one, 0 to 12 volt. Coming to question number 27. Here the two diodes are connected D1 with a resistor and a D2 with a resistor. 10 ohm. Here 10 ohm, it is 5 ohm. D1 and D2. Let now. A 2 volt battery supply voltage is 2. Shown in the figure, the value of the current supplied by the battery when the one case battery's positive terminal is connected to A and in other case positive terminal is connected to B will respectively. Suppose first case take A is positive and B is negative. It is forward biased in the first case. It is reverse biased, node carries current. Then voltage by resistance gives you the current. 2 volt divided by 5 is a 0.4 ampere. In the second case, it is made plus and this is minus. This become reverse bias and this conducts the current because this is forward biased. So therefore again it is voltage 2 by resistance become 0.2 ampere. Hence the answer is 0.4 ampere comma 0.2 ampere are the options. 0.4 and 0.2 ampere are the options. Option number 1. Coming to the next question. A red LED emits a light of 0.1 watt uniformly around it. There is an LED, red LED, emitting the energy in all directions, red light, having power equal to 0.1 watt. The amplitude of electric field of the light at a distance of 1 meter from the diode is. As this light is traveling as an electromagnetic wave at a distance of 1 meter, what is the amplitude of electric field means what is the maximum electric field that expecting. So this sphere is advancing, the light is propagating in all direction. Now imagine this is a sphere of radius of 1 meter, where this intensity of the electric field we are expecting at a distance of 1 meter from the source. D is the distance, take it as a radius of the sphere. The red light is emitting in all directions spherically. There is a spherical symmetry in propagation. As it expands 1 meter distance means radius is 1 meter. What is the amplitude required? Here I can say intensity, if I take intensity of that is power by area equal to half epsilon naught E square into C. C is a speed of light. This relation power by area means nothing but intensity you learnt as energy propagating per second per area. It is nothing but power, and average energy that it is carrying is given by half epsilon naught E square. UC gives you the intensity, U average into speed of light gives you the intensity. We merged the two equations. Now our aim is to find electric field amplitude, that is nothing but square root of 2p divided by epsilon naught into C. Let us substitute and simplify. Let us see what happens. 2 into 0.1 watt, 0.1 watt, right, divided by epsilon. I can take 9 into 10 power minus 12 approximately, 3 into 10 power 8 EC into area divided by area. Area can be written 4 pi d square because spherical symmetry, surface area of the sphere is 4 pi r square, where r is a radius. Here radius is 1 meter. So divided by 4 into pi into 1 square. So epsilon naught we written here. First you see E equal to square root of the power into 2p divided by A epsilon naught and C. Epsilon naught written, C written, 4 pi r square taken. So now let us simplifying it is 4 pi, 4 nines, 3 threes are 9, 9 nines are we have, 2 remains here. So simplifying, let us take this 10 power 8, 10 power 8 minus 2 cancelled, minus 4 taken to 10 power 2, 10 power 3, 10 power 3, 10 power 200 divided by 3 approximately made is 3, 9 nines is 81 into 3, 4 is remained with the square root of this. If I brought out 102 times it is, or it is keeping as it is 200 square root 2 into 10 divided by 9 into 2. So the answer available. So let us see, this is 1.4, 14 point something. 1.4, 81,997. 2 cancels root 2. 14 point 2 into p, 0.2, 9 into 10 power minus 12, 3 into 10 power 8, 4 pi, 22 by 7, okay, no problem. Root 2, 200, 10 power 8, 10 power minus 2, minus 4, minus 3, 3, another 1 0 is there, right. So it become simply different, because here 10 power 8 minus 4 remained, minus 4 when we taken to the numerator, minus 3 1 cancels, plus 3 is 2000. So therefore it may be 4 into 5, 500 divided by 81 with the square root, 4 5s are 20. So root 5 I can keep, root 5 divided by 9 into 10. Approximately 10 cancelled here, it is around 2.5. 2.5, answer is around 2.45. 2.45 is the energy required. So there is simplification here. The mistake we made is here 10 power 4, 10 power 4, 10 power 3, limitation obtained. Option number 4 is the answer for this. But correctly take this. I hope you are understood. Energy spread in spherical form. Power that is given here. Power per area is intensity. This intensity can be expressed in terms of electric field is half epsilon naught E square into C, where C is a speed of light. Area is surface area of the sphere of radius 1 meter. That's the behind concept is. Once that is arrived, simplification. In an unbiased p-n junction, electron diffuse from n region to p region, because JEE 2015, the reason they are asking why electrons move from n region to p region. 29th question, when the p-n junction is forming, diffuse is from electron, why they diffuse into this p region. Holes in the p region attract them. Electrons travel across the junction due to potential difference. Only electrons move from n to p region and not the vice versa. Electrons concentration in n region is more compared to that in the p region. So clearly here the potential barrier existing is not allowing them to go. because negative potential, here positive potential. Therefore, one of only electrons from N to P region and not vice versa is wrong. Electron travel across the junction due to potential difference is not possible because the electric field that exists due to potential difference is not allowing the electrons to come to this region. The possible answer correctly is the diffusion is due to concentration gradient. Here holes are very high in number, here electrons are very large in number. This concentration gradient make the electrons to move across the junction to come to the P region. Otherwise, holes may go from P region to N region. The correct answer is the fourth one. Coming to the next question. So here it is in different examinations in different years appeared in NEET or JEE. So the little bit changes in the data, but they follow the same technique in representation. There are 4 diode connections shown. 4 diode connections with resistors shown. Okay, all are similar. So first one is +2 -2. Next one is +2 +4 volt and -3 volt +3 volt and -2 volt and +2 volt. Question is forward bias. In case of forward bias, P region must be positive connection. Of positive terminal means higher potential. Higher potential. Similarly, N must be connected to negative terminal means lower potential. This is P and N. P is +2, N is -2. When you see the +2 with -2, it is higher potential, it is lower potential. Connection is right. Option may be the first one is right. Why not the second one? You see P and N. It is lower potential, it is higher potential because +4 is higher than +2. Potential reference, if you see +4 is higher than +2. Therefore, it is under reverse bias. Coming to this -3 and +3, P and N region. It is at higher potential and lower potential. +3 is at N means it is reverse biased. And if you take here also -2 is lower potential compared to +2, N and P. This is also under reverse bias. Therefore, the correct option is P must be at higher potential, N must be at lower potential. Option number 1 is the correct one. So thank you. Let us see remaining in the next video.